Hello everyone, and welcome back to A Seed of the Day. I'm your host Lily, and yes, welcome to my studio. Woo! I cannot turn around all the way because I have a cable on my head. Yes, welcome to my little cave in my little apartment here in Tokyo. I will try to keep it very simple today and in a way that I don't shout. Because I have a friend staying with me and she's sleeping right now. But anyway, today I wish to talk about my portfolio and why did I go to this direction of retro gaming and what tools did I use to make it possible so rapidly. But yeah, I will try to keep it as organized as possible. I think you have noticed that my brain just go to this different, pathways and different parentheses here and there. But I'll do my best to just keep it focused this time. Okay, so here is my current portfolio. Is very inspired on retro gaming. It has example like character sheet with like my quest timeline, which is basically just all the companies I have worked with. It has a kind of like a coded channel. Like I was a little bit inspired by how Snake, like from Metal Gear, has like little messages. I still need to make a portrait for, I'm not gonna make one for each person, but I'm gonna make like a template portrait to be here, or maybe even further, like maybe just like NDA type, like I cannot reveal this person's name or face in this case, so it could be like the Laughing Man type of logo here. I'm not gonna copy the Laughing Man logo, but it could be maybe Laughing Frog logo like in Ghost in the like my current what I'm currently doing right now, some of like my achievements, save points, which is where like people can send me a message or whatnot, and then my digital garden. I have a bug with this that I need to solve, but basically is a RSS of my Substack, which it's coded by seed. So if I click on anyone, for example, this is the growing seed, so it's one of my latest Substack articles, blogs. And yeah, it's just, I am very proud of this portfolio. Actually, it's the portfolio that it's the portfolio that kind of represents me the most, and I'm very happy to have done it. Of course, since it's a portfolio and since it's a place where I talk not only about me, but also about some of the companies that I have worked for, some of the products and services I have been participant of as a product designer and strategist. I kind of had a certain mixed feeling of, should I change the domain? Should I go like all the way with Lily Moon Studios? Should I just do it everything from scratch and from zero? I was divided a little bit on that, but I don't, it's like I don't want to be starting entirely from zero when me, Lilian Cajulian, was the one present and the one doing every single thing. Like, and when I mention me, like Lilian Cajulian doing it, I mean my professional self, like my creative self. In this case, Lily Moon. Of course, I was being creative as much as I can in these services, but I feel that I missed the mark with most of them when it came to creativity. Now that I can explore my creativity more in the current space that I am in, I want to invite that, but I just don't want to be super closed off from the what a portfolio is, what are like the things that are being represented inside a portfolio, like not only your creative self but also your corporate self. Does that have any kind of meaning? Like, you know what I mean, like your professional self is also encapsulated in your portfolio. So me going into this rant of thinking, I said, well, you know what, I have this seed of my professional self that I have to represent in a certain way in this portfolio. So what do I have? somewhat of my real name, because I'm not gonna put like my full like name here, but I have my name, my alias, who I am, like what I am. I'm a senior product designer and strategist. I am based in Tokyo, Japan, and I have like actually a plus 10 years. It's just like, yeah, 8 years, 8+ years working in this field, and that's it. Then when we go to like, let's see, Unix Quest right here. Now I am, oh, let me put myself a little tiny here. And then with the case studies, I am going through them in a professional way and in a more compacted way as well. A lot to fix, especially with 2K. Like, I want to be all inclusive, like not only to mobile, because there is a lot of emphasis in mobile first, that I think we tend to forget that people have big ass desktop displays. Like, some people have 2K, some people have 4K. Like, even in their, in their Macs, for the people who use Mac, like usually they come by default in a 2K like display aspect ratio. So I want to be inclusive in all of them. So you can see that I'm still working on it, but some of the typography it's not as accessible. They're like very tiny elements here and there that are actually clickable and usable, but it's like it goes out of sight basically. So yeah, let me put myself big again, and let's go through the process. So I did everything in Framer, and this is my previous my previous portfolio, and I want to show them to you. So yeah, my portfolio before was very basic, very, how to say, traditional in a sense. It was very clean and clinical and just, I guess, boring. Like, don't get me wrong, I was very proud of myself when I did it. I did everything in Framer. I went through a whole process of doing it first in Figma, then going back to like Framer, editing, making a whole design system for it, and all of that. It took me time, not because I went through a classical design process for it. It took me time because I was in a very stressful situation, but still I was very proud of myself when I finished it. I wanted to do it fun and also do it in a way that it gave me the ability of not needing to make a presentation in the case if I ever get like an interview or not. So let me explain. So for example, if we see like the Unix, okay, put myself very little again, and just let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, I'm zooming in. So I went in through this process. Oh, I can't even like just look at it like this. Okay. I went through this process of making it very clinical, right? Very polished in a certain way. But I wanted to use it as my presentation while going through an interview. I didn't want to make, because we as designers, we don't only have to present the portfolio, and the portfolio is what gets us an interview or a contact. We also need to present this case study. Sorry, we need to present a case study, and I didn't want to go to like, oh my god, I need to present a case study for like the portfolio items I already have there online. No, I'm not gonna do that. So what I did was to have the parts I needed and just go through them, which makes, what was that? I don't know what was that, but anywho, makes it very lengthy in a sense. And also I had like transition animations, as you can see here, because it gives it like the exact amount of time I have from going to one topic to another topic. So it was great. It got me job opportunities, so like that's great and all. So yeah, I kept it like that. And also I was looking because there are so many ways of doing portfolios and doing case studies. So for example, if you go to Philip Lee's portfolio is always, you will see Philip Lee's portfolio being mentioned in many LinkedIn articles about the best portfolios or what Airbnb designers' portfolio look like. Let's go to Philip Lee. No shame to Philip Lee portfolio, but when I saw his portfolio, oh my god, front-end developer, performance, Philip Lee portfolio, honorable mention, 2022 portfolio awards. Here is Philip. I don't know if I can just go to his portfolio. Oh, yes, I can go to his portfolio. Okay, his portfolio. I hope he is. He is. Okay, so I saw this portfolio. I think it's very elegant. I think it's also very creative how he has like this hover type of interaction. I think that's very cool, and I really like how elegant he puts like where he has been like currently working on. I really like this kind of like cut, like this page break, and I really like how he uses animation for his thumbnails. But something you have to see about what intrigued me the most about his portfolio, and you see that he is featured in awards, you know. Let's go to his case studies. Go to the tiles. I think the tiles one got me. And I said, you know what, for my case studies, I said F them rules. So again, like, look, this is for the Twitter tiles. Again, like a very clean hero, and then puff, like images of the result. So he goes and he opens, and again, imagery. Then he shows that the entire process, basically, what is the use cases, the surface areas, and all of the good stuff. Again, opening, image, opening, image, opening, and so on and so on. And I said to myself, am I being too much of a neurodivergent, or am I afraid of breaking the rules? Because basically, people will tell you a lot. Do not put too much images. Do not talk too much in your case study. Like, nobody cares. Hiring managers and other designers, what they are looking is for the results. They are looking for numbers. They are looking for yada, 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 yada. But then you see a very respectable designer doing whatever they want. So I feel that this could be a chicken and an egg situation where you, as a respectable designer with a very big backpack in your shoulders of all the awards that you have, earned, all the excellent, the excellent results you have garnished. People already know you. If you have worked for Twitter or for Google or for Airbnb, people already come with a preconception that you are great. I bet that being in that high, you can just break any type of rule that you want, I think Sander from Superfast, he always talks about, you don't have to have the perfect portfolio, just make it happen. But I think, again, with that chicken and an egg situation, a person like Sander that has a very prolific social media, that has been helping thousands and thousands of people become like product designers themselves. He has his own platform. He has like his own business. Or even Philip Lee, they can put something in Notion, ship it, and they will definitely get a job. But for designers that are starting from zero, or may not have that, big backpack of, I have worked with big brands, may need a little bit of perfection in their portfolio. And I don't mean perfection that they have to have all the bells and whistles, but it needs to work in a certain way, and it needs to function in a certain way. So why am I saying this? Because if I go back to the initial idea that I was explaining, I needed something to present. So when it comes to, the experience I have taking interviews, I said, I don't want to, how to say, I don't want to be preparing all of these slides and preparing all of this you know, information over and over and over again. And I actually went through kind of like a dip because people rejected me by my portfolio immediately, especially the portfolio I had in Behance, because either Behance has a bad reputation. Although I have also been, I like the first job I was hired here in Japan, they found me because of my Behance. And actually, even in my second job, they hired me because I showed the entire research process in my Behance portfolio. So, Behance and Dribble, yes, they do have a negative kind of like glance into the UX UI world, but if you do it right, you're gonna get a job, possibly. But anyway, why was I being rejected? It was because it was too old already. Like, I think the market is changing to more prolifical, is that a word? Like more a rounded designer. What I mean with a rounded designer is that they do good UX and good UI. Although the difference between UX and UI is big. You can be great at UX and neutral in UI, or vice versa. But people are looking for designers that are well-rounded in both worlds. So what I did was that, okay, I know a little bit about React. I have been using Framer and also getting Framer gigs here and there, so I know how Framer works. How about I prepare myself, I take the seat of a creative director in this case, and I use Claude Code to help me out with some templates to get into Framer, my little Figma. So I did this first mood boards right here. Oh, let me alone, Figma. I did this first mood boards with kind of like the like direction I wanted to go to. I made some initials like, okay, I want, I want to have more of my creativity on rather than my professional self. I wanted it to be like this. I want the cards maybe to be like this. And I'm gonna, you know what, I want to have like a little like, oh, you can rest here area, maybe that could be in the hero section. I like this image better. And I started to just make the very first components and the very first like tokens. And I just and then after that I told Claude Code, hey, I have this for you. Do A, B, C. I'm not gonna, like it's almost 30 minutes that I've been chatting. But basically I told it, this is what I want. I gave it all of this context. Of course, it's very dirty. It's very, very dirty. It's not very well organized. Maybe I can do a completely different video about how to give AI the right context to get a better result of what your vision is. So basically, I did the initial thing. I went out there and looked for moods, like mood boards, imagery. I did the very first designs, and then I gave it context. I wanted to have like dark mode, light mode. I wanted it to be like, especially the dark mode, I wanted it to be like that souls, like rest here type of ambience. I'm really interested in this part right here. I also did the sprites. I drew them in Figma Draw. So I made all of these little sprites with its own like color palettes, and then I just put them to here and there, and even you can see that I started then to tell it some, hey, I want padding here and there even. And what Claude did, so I basically worked everything in Figma, but then when it came to Framer itself, Claude worked directly in the React. So if I can go back to like the current home, you will see that there are these components right here. Let me put myself small again. Woohoo! So there will be this kind of components like this. These are basically React components, and this is what basically what Claude made. And then I went inside, I changed the things that I needed to change because I have a knowledge of React itself, so I could change it myself. Like, I'm poor, I don't have many credits, so I needed to work my hands in. Okay, even for animations, I was like, okay, this is not it, and I went inside the code and changed stuff. But I will go to Figma and design certain things, and I will tell it, no, 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 you're going to we're going to the wrong direction here. What I wanted in here was something more like this. Can you do that? And can you do that in an elegant way? And yada, yada, yada. Claude helped me a lot. I'm not going to fool you. I did use AI, but I didn't let Claude Code do 100% of it. I I I took ownership. Like, I think I was talking about that a couple of videos ago as well. That I want to take ownership of what I do. I want to take the seat of the director, and I want to use AI more as a buddy to help me out with the things that it knows the best. Because, for programming, I think AI is better than me 100%. Like, it's been so long ago since I touched React or React Native or even Vue.js. Like, I'm touching it a little bit more now because since with AI, with Claude, for example, and with the Figma use skill that recently launched, I can let it take over very manual type of labor. For example, doing the variables, those classical padding and margin variables that go from 2 to 4 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. Like, you can say, hey Claude, just give me these variables, give me this, give me that. If you don't have a template already, you can make AI do the certain manual and boring things to give you enough space for your creativity and for the design process to marinate itself. And that's what I did. So I'm not gonna say that I did with my hands, with my bare hands, everything from scratch and from zero, because that's not the case. As for the Figma, I did, and you can definitely see the difference that of the things that I constructed. And I told, like, Claude, hey, can you put that, and can we do a framework component, or how even can we do it in a way that is more progressive? And just we went with the component route because we can, like, even expand it a little bit. Like, we can put even more animations that might not be available in Framer itself, or we don't need to create overrides of code. So instead of doing overrides for each page, we made a code for each page, which made total sense. But anywho, I've been ranting for a long time. I've been I've been liking it, but I think I need to cut it here. I just wanted to show you all my portfolio, and yeah, I am very happy I did. Thank you so much for the ones that have been. I don't know why I'm so nervous. It's just that I can see that maybe, I don't know, it's too long and people will be bored, but I'm just starting. And thank you so much for the people who are giving me support. If you like it, like and share. If you don't like it, boo it and comment what you didn't like. Anyway, like, any reaction and interaction will help me a lot with the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you in another time. Bye bye.